Hello all, this is Rubayat. Hope you all are doing great. I would like to welcome you all in today's webinar, which is how to start a career in research as an undergraduate student. We all know research is an exciting thing, and a country's and society's development largely depends on research and development. But how can a student start his or her research? Research is a very overwhelming thing. Um, but um, but if you know the right path, it is really not that tough. So to help you all, I am arranging today's session with a special guest, and today's agendas are: learn about starting research, all about research as an undergraduate student, a short overview on Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Program. For covering the first two agendas, I would like to invite a special guest in the show who is a great potential researcher in the field of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and computer vision. He is none other than Dr. Fahim Irfan Alam, Associate Professor, University of Chittagong. He has completed his PhD from Australia and MSc from Canada.
Thank you, Rubayat. Is my video visible? Can you hear my voice as well?
Yes, sir, you're audible and visible.
Thank you so much, and thanks for the introduction. And I'm very happy today that you guys have invited me into the Microsoft Students Ambassador Program, specifically for introducing research for undergrad students. And I'm honored and I'm very much privileged. And I will try my best to give you some insight into how you can start your career as in research during your undergrad program. So I would like to share my screen now, and just let me know if it is visible. So that's why. Um, Give me a second. Can you all see my slideshow screen?
Yes, visible.
Okay, thank you so much. Um, so let me introduce myself. As Rubayat said, I am working as an associate professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering in University of Chittagong. And I'm also working as an adjunct faculty in East Delta University, Bangladesh for 1 year now. And I have the privilege to work with some extraordinary undergrad students. So I'm mentioning this because today's theme is based on how you can initiate a research work during undergrad program. I would like to introduce my academic career in a very brief way. So I completed my master's in 2012 from um, uh, Canada and St. Francis Xavier University, and then I recently completed my PhD from Griffith University, Australia in 2019. So after that, I came back to my home country and resumed my work in University of Chittagong. So right. These are something that I would like to touch. Probably not in a very sequential order, but you will get the idea what I'm trying to say. It is very important that we we understand or we get motivated by research work, because nobody is going to force you to pursue research, right? It's on you. It's all you. And you can refuse to do research, or you can jump in to do intensive research. It depends on you. It depends on your driving force. So to find the correct motivation, you need to be active as well, because the motivation doesn't come just like that. You have to explore several things from where you can find some motivation, and you have to you have to realize that why I am doing research or why I should do research. Is it connected to my career goals as a whole? Probably yes, probably not. But it is always a good idea to have some preliminary knowledge on research, regardless of you are going to pursue as an academic career or in R&D, research and development. It doesn't matter. But how to conduct a research, you should get that idea when you are an undergrad student. So but then again you should be able to connect it with your career goals as well. And the research is all about developing your skills. um, the stage when I started my own research, I knew nothing. When I see students nowadays, they are so driven, they are so motivated, and they already have started publishing papers during their undergrad programs, which is phenomenal, right? Which is amazing. But when I was an undergrad student, I didn't have any motivation, I didn't have any knowledge whatsoever on research. So I was very, very naive and like I literally knew nothing. But then again, when I started conducting research, I went through some intensive programs, higher degree academic programs. My skill developed. I did not remain the same person that I was back in 2007 or 2008. So I improved myself. So this is a systematic process. You have to improve your skills. That's the idea. And then again, you cannot just jump into any research area randomly. You may be a student of psychology, you may be a student of finance. So you know that as a student, when specifically you are an undergrad student, you will have a substantial amount of courses, and you will be just overwhelmed by the courses. And like most of the courses are so research oriented, so you have to find your interest, and you have to go for it. And accordingly you have to find the right person who can guide you. I'm meaning the one and only supervisor, right? So this is the most dreadful thing, but again, he or she is the only person who can change your life. So that's something that I would like to focus on during presentation. So this is a very important thing that you we need to understand, that how to make the transition between coursework and research. So as an undergrad program, like I said now, that you will have many courses. You will have to finish so many courses. And the first 2 years, I'm talking about like 3 or 4 years of undergrad program. It depends. It depends. It may vary in your individual cases. So, for example, for 1.5 years, when we are an undergrad student, we don't think about research, right? To be very honest. And we just focus on the course assignments, the midterms, weekly seminars or examinations, how to obtain the highest grade. We are just after CGPA. That's our only goal for 1.5 years or maybe 2 years. But after that, the university will ask you to do mandatory research, right? It's part of your program. It may be or may not be part of your program, but in most cases, it is mandatory to obtain certain, to earn certain credits for research as well in parallel to your coursework. So you have to, you know, you are kind of forced to drive your attention toward research. But again, the more you will proceed, the more you will progress toward your coursework, the courses will become more intense, more difficult, and it will require you substantial amount of time. Then what to do? How to transition between these two things? Here is this one formula that I kind of followed when I was an undergrad student, and I kind of tried to say it to other students of mine, which is there is a relation when you, for example, you are a uh, final year undergrad student and you are studying some intensive work. If you, you know, notice carefully, there is a connection between the research work and those advanced courses. And I would like to tell you that you should do those courses very, very sincerely, because those kind of give you the correct motivation for choosing your research area. That is very important. So although it is extremely challenging, but whenever you are doing coursework, try to make a connection with the research. When your faculties are introducing some intensive, content, ask him question. Try to know that, Professor, is there any connection with the actual research? Is this a theoretical concept or is this an applied concept? Can I choose something from this coursework, from these intensive topics that you are teaching now? Try to know, because as a faculty, I know that when I teach in my class, usually I do not always talk about research work, because not each and every student has the patience and career goals to conduct research, and that's completely okay. I'm not judging anyone, but obviously there are some students who try to know more, who try to listen, like professor is not saying anything about from the research point of view, but since I have to finish the course, the syllabus, then I kind of avoid talking a lot about research. So what I try to do is I try to introduce the concept and then try to introduce the application. But if you do not find that thing in your class, then ask question. That is the main idea, how you can connect this intensive coursework to your research. There is a connection, because without completing the coursework, you won't have any background knowledge on the research topic, right? Because the coursework will give you some beginning, some starting point. From then on, you can dig in more, you can try to know more about that topic, because the faculty will have to complete the syllabus. He or she will not teach everything from every concept. That's not possible. But if you find a connection, if you get motivated from any certain topic, then try to know more. Ask him question. So, and as well as, um, when you are about to finish your research, the undergrad thesis, then start planning the professional side as well, like what you are going to do. And conducting research has so many possibilities, so many options in your future. I would like to discuss two such, you know, uh, career options for you. And first of all, I would like to motivate you for conducting higher degree academic programs. Like, because I did masters and PhD, so I kind of try to, motivate everyone to do at least masters. You know, Masters program is a phenomenal program. Even if you don't have the target to do PhD, that's okay. PhD is extra; it's additional thing. But a research-based master's program will introduce you to the actual, real applications. Because when you're an undergraduate program, um, like I said, that you are kind of drowning by the coursework load pressure, and it is like overwhelming coursework. So when you choose to do some thesis, you may not be able to give proper time to that thesis during undergrad program. So when you dive into the master's program, um, it is all about the research. So, but here is this one thing, that when back in 2009, when I first started seeking for master's opportunities in foreign universities, I'm from Bangladesh, so I was trying to target Canada, United States of America, or European countries. So my point of view was how to get scholarship, because I will not be able to, afford the high tuition fees, and I need full scholarship. That was my only agenda, and I was luckily managed. I managed to gain some good grade points. I was lucky, but I did not have enough research experience during undergraduate program. I did a thesis and I published a conference paper, which was not, which did not publish in the standard, libraries like IEEE, Springer, or Elsevier, or this kind of digital library. It was not published anywhere. So it was a local conference, and my thesis was published as a proceedings in that local conference. So I wouldn't say that I did anything during my undergraduate program. But since, I mean, in 2009, the level of the competition was not that high, to be very honest. Not many people were trying to apply for master's program day and night. There were certain kind of group of people who had the motivation to go to Canada or Australia or to USA for pursuing masters. The number of people who were sending application forms were limited. But now this is 2021 and the level of the competition is crazy. My students ask for recommendation for at least 10 universities. They are applying to 10 universities. So if they succeed to get admission in those 10 universities, just imagine they have 10 different options. So the competition is crazy. They have CGPAs, they have good grade points, they have multiple publications, they have already substantial amount of experiences in research. So we need to understand that we cannot put the heavy load on masters anymore. We have to prepare ourselves during undergraduate program. That's a compulsory thing if you have a certain intention to pursue masters or PhD in future. So you have to gain the basic experience, you have to attempt for publications, and that will brighten your chances for getting good scholarships in foreign universities. So that is very, very important. That was the academic programs. And then like how to actually, do that. Um, there is this one thing that I would like to tell you, that if you do not have certain intention to go for academic programs like masters and PhD, but you are a good programmer, you have certain research knowledge, but maybe you did not publish any papers, but you did a good research during your undergraduate program, or okay, you have published one paper but you are not interested in pursuing masters, and you are kind of, you want to jump into industry. Software development is one choice that, okay, first of all, I would like to apologize that I mistakenly, I have limited my speech into computer science and IT field. Okay, that's different thing. All right, so if you are not interested to pursue master's or PhD, then you would like to work as a research analyst in certain companies. Then also you need certain amount of research knowledge during your undergraduate program. And like I said, the level of the competition is intense now. So even now, in 2021, people are not like some people, some students, after completing their undergraduate program, they are not going for masters, but they are going to industry and they would like to, work as a research analyst based on their master's experience, based on their undergraduate experience and their outcome. The industry people are hiring them. So that's phenomenal. So even if you are a master's student, but Still, you are doing similar kind of work in the industry. And I would like to encourage you to have that option as well. If you are not driven to do higher degree academic programs like masters, then go for the industry. That's a very, very good option. And before starting how to conduct your research, there's this one thing that we all need to do, that is getting proactive. Like I said in the beginning, nobody will force you to pursue research. Nobody will ask you that you have to do research. It's on you. And if you are driven, if you're motivated, then you have to come out from your comfort zone, and you have to show activeness. You have to proactive. Your research supervisor will not tell you everything, will not give you every single instruction, but you will have to be a little bit of proactive and then make things easier for your supervisor. You will have to uh, propose to your supervisor that, hey, do you think that I should do this in this week? Do you think that this should be my this week's work? So that will express your proactiveness, that you are extra motivated. This extra thing, this additional activeness is very important when conducting research. Um, so there is this certain stages that we need to, we need to kind of acquire. These are the skills, special skills. Um, there are certain bullet points that you are seeing on the slide now, that you will have to develop a research idea, which is very, very, very difficult, right? When you are an undergrad student, um, it is not easy to develop a research idea just like that. Maybe it is a good idea to rephrase this research idea term by research area, maybe. Like, I would like to, if you are a student of philosophy and then you are kind of interested to work on child psychology, then this is a big area, child psychology. Those who are psychologists, they know better, of course, that what are the sub branches of child psychology. So that child psychology is the mother, is the super domain, and you will have to find some subdomains where you can contribute into child psychology. And then if you are able to find that subdomain, like child psychology may be divided into several sub branches, like maybe infant children have their own psychological development, right? So if you are narrowing down your attention into infants, like babies who are like 3 or 4 months, then you will have to find the problems that may arise during that particular time of your life, of a infant's life. And then you will have to conduct some literature study. People who have done similar work, you will have to study their work as well, because it is nearly impossible to start something that nobody has done, and that is kind of risky as well when you are an undergrad student. So I usually do not give suggestion to my undergrad student to start something that has not been done at all. Try to do something existing topic, and try to contribute from your own perspective. Do something new, so that you can compare your work with those existing work. But again, if you have some novel ideas that nobody has done, some particular branch of your subject that nobody has even touched, if you would like to do something on that, then go for it. But the risk and the amount of hard work will be multiplied, because this is a brand new area. And then after you specified your research area, and you have done some literature review, and you have found a research gap. I should have added that research gap into this slide, because when you are studying the research, existing research from phenomenal researchers all over the world, then there are some publications, some articles that are so good, and you will find it very difficult to find some research gap. But trust me, the more you will keep continuing studying the papers, similar papers that you have studied 15 research papers on child psychology from the age group between 0 to 4, for, for example. So the more you will study, the more you will have some concrete idea that these papers do not have this particular perception. They did not address this particular perception. I can do it. I can try to do it. So that is the research gap that you would like to do in your own research. And analyze your work, and then analyze the data that are important for for conducting your research. Data. You cannot conduct research without data. Data is the, 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 the first and foremost thing that you need, because without analyzing the data, you will not be able to find any concrete conclusions, or your own perception about the data. So you can apply some statistical procedures on your data that will give you a statistical relationships. Why I am saying the word statistical procedure? Because statistics is something that is a very um, useful tool to describe your data, regardless of your subject. You may be a student of computer science and engineering, or philosophy, or finance, or psychology. Whatever that is, you need data, and the data has some statistics. For instance, I would like to analyze um, the weather data for a particular country like India. So if you analyze the data from the 12 months period in India, focusing India, like certain regions, not all the regions, like certain regions like Delhi. So if you analyze the weather data from the 12 months period, then you will see that the month of April, May, June are crazy hot. The summer is crazy during those particular period, and that is a statistic. So, and that is a indicator of how your data should behave. So using a statistical procedure, you can analyze your data. There are so many statistical procedures you can find online, right? And this very important skill that you need to develop, that is writing skills. You need to write as an academician. When you're conducting your research, you have to improve your writing skills. You no longer are allowed to write in a non-organized way, because what do we mean by writing skills? When we do a coursework, we do the examination and we write answers. The answers may be 10 on 10, right? But there is a certain way of presenting your idea, and that is very important. Coursework is a different thing. Allowed, even if you are not presenting your idea in an organized way, that is good, that is allowed. But in research, when you're writing a paper, when you're writing your thesis, there should be an order. There should be a certain path that you are following to present your idea, to talk about it, to present your results, and to give your conclusions. So you have to know how to improve your writing skills when conducting research. So these are the special skills that I'm talking about, that you will be able to improve when you are done with conducting a full research work. Right? So it is fascinating that you have so many skills already developed, after completing a research work. And these are very, very important. That is why we are conducting research. The previous slide was, um, it's kind of you're developing skills. But these are the things that you would like to achieve on a more personal level. And that's why I have said it interpersonal goals. Like, I mean, why we are pursuing undergraduate program, say for instance, so that we can find job. That is a interpersonal goal. That is not a specific skill based goal. That is not a specific skill based goal. That is a interpersonal goal.
S- So you are on mute.
Since when?
Sir, 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes,
Oh,
not
okay,
longer.
okay, 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 okay. Sorry, I don't know why it happened. Okay. Um, can you guys see my slides?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay,
It's visible.
okay, okay. So like I said that in the previous slide, I would like to repeat for you briefly that these are the goals that you will be able to achieve after conducting research skill based. So these are the skills that you will be able to achieve after conducting a full research. So these are the skills that I'm talking about. But these are the goals, or these are the um, outcomes that are more personal. So, for example, like why I am doing research, or why I am publishing papers, so that I will be a better candidate during my master's application. So there will be so many people who will be applying for master's programs. So if I have a good conference paper, if I have a good journal paper, then I will be shortlisted just like that, because that's all. That's how it works. The graduate school admissions, that's how it works. And also, if you're trying to get a research and development industry based work, then also it will influence the decisions of the people who will hire you. So that's a personal goal. The second thing is enhancing teamwork. This is a very important interpersonal goal that you will achieve. That when you will conduct a research, it is very difficult to do it individually. It is always a good idea to engage more people with you. Like, share with your friends that, hey, I have a research idea, I would like to work on it. Are you interested? Let's make a team. So then you and your friend are working as a team member in a team, and you have divided the work among yourselves, and you have a goal to catch a deadline to submit your article into certain journal or conference. Okay, so um, so then you have your own share of work, and your friend has his or her own share of work, and both of you are feeling accountable and responsible toward your work, because you know that if I fail to deliver my share of work, then my team member will suffer. So that will give you an extra motivation to work harder, and you will be able to achieve the the skills to work as a team. And it is very important, because when you will try to find jobs after your undergrad programs, then the recruiters will ask you, have you ever worked in a team? If you say yes, and if you are able to show certain proofs, like I worked in this research group, then it will give you an additional benefit. So that is second, that is another interpersonal goal. And then developing, contacts. When you are working with a certain professor, you are also getting acquainted with other professors as well. Because in research, your supervisor will give you the problem or will discuss you with the problem, and you will find many obstacles, many difficulties, and then you will engage other supervisors maybe, or you may go to other people, not necessarily professors but maybe seniors or other people who have certain knowledge or who are in a certain position in an industry. So you make contacts with them so that they will be a recommendation support for your after undergrad life, be it an application for masters or be it an application to an industry or any other office or organizations. So make contacts. Research is a very good way to make contacts, because when you will approach to someone that, hey, I'm developing something new, I'm working on a research work, that person will give you importance that this is an extraordinary student, that he's or she is trying to do something new. So I should speak to him. I should give him recommendation. And finally, building leadership qualities. After closely working with your supervisor on a certain topic, you will find, you will see that how that person, that supervisor is guiding you to achieve your goal. That is the quality of a leader, and that is very important. These are some of the interpersonal goals that you will achieve after conducting research, even you are an undergrad student. And then, um, what could be the potential path to achieve your goals? Say, for instance, you are a final year undergrad student, or you may be in your uh, third year. You have like 4-year undergrad program. You are in your third year, and then since then you have developed an interest to work as a research student. So there are certain goals, certain way to do that. First of all, you may opt in to work as a volunteer with the faculty. Just approach that person and tell him or her that I'm interested. Um, Give me some work. Whatever that is, data collections, typing, or doing some interviews for as a part of the data collection process. Even if that work is not very research oriented, but at least get acquainted with those kinds of work. Just volunteer, because that is a path to dive into more intensive research work. Try to find some intern opportunities in your universities. If there is such opportunities, a student research program or internship, apply. The idea of internship is that people who will hire you, they would know that you know nothing. They will train you. So why not go for it? Go for internship opportunities. And then you can also, the third point may not be true for most of you, but I have seen in certain universities that students pursue additional research, independent research work for earning academic credits. So even if it's for academic credits, but it will give you certain experience. And then you can also choose to volunteer for researcher outside of your university. Not necessarily you have to find someone from your domain, from your campus, from your university. If possible, then go for someone who is not from your university. You can find people who have completed their bachelor's from your university, your seniors. Call them. What are you doing now? Can I come to your office for a meeting? Just go to that person and then, talk about certain opportunities that, hey, your office offers any certain internship work or anything, I'm very interested. And it happens. And that person, that senior of yours, um, they will be happy, trust me, because they have so many work pending for them. So, you know, they will hire you to do those things for them. I know that it's not ethically 100% correct, that you are just volunteering their work for work, but it's not that you are not gaining anything. You are gaining your own experience, and that is very important. If you are working in a real world, in a real actual industry, if you are working on actual real life problem, then even if you are just a volunteer, but in response you are achieving so many things, you are learning, you are gaining substantial experience, and that is something that you should not relate it to money only, because as an undergraduate program, uh, learning is a very important process, because after that, when you are you are a graduate, when you will go for an industry, those people will hire you, paid job, because they will think that, okay, he or she is a graduate, I cannot make him work as a volunteer, I have to pay him money. But if you have not earned certain skills, then it will be difficult for you to start from the very beginning as a profession. So try to gain that real life experience as a volunteer, even if you are an undergrad student. Try to do that, and complete and sustain, and accordingly you will complete your honors thesis. It will, it is a path. Like after completing your thesis, you will know. um, then how to determine your interest. Like I said that you are a student of psychology, and you are trying to narrow it down. So you should go for you know after completing your coursework, you have certain motivation for certain subjects, that this subject interested me a lot, so I should dig in, or I should speak to the faculty who taught me this course, who was the instructor, and I should discuss with him about the potential research topics. Or you can go to the websites. um, there are numerous websites specifically dedicated for fixing your research interest. Explore those websites. um, Study the supervisors, the potential supervisors websites. um, know more about their research area, their interest, their recent publications. Speak to people, speak to the professors, speak to your seniors. Do not narrow down your choices that quickly. It's going to mislead you, because if you just pick something and then after a while you may realize that you are not feeling anything, you are not feeling the connection. So that was a wrong decision, because uh, you were hasty, right? And then after exploring those resources, speaking to people and everything, you may narrow down several professors, not one, just two or more, like at least five or something, and then get to know more about those professors. If those professors belong to your university and you have studied their courses, then it is a very easy way to know about that person on a personal level. Because as someone who have done uh, masters and PhD, I know very well that it is very important that your supervisor is a kind person. It is very important, because if that person is rude in nature, there is a possibility that that person will not be you know uh, considerate in your situation. Because once There are so many things may happen. During the last 1 year pandemic, we have seen that people's life changed just like that. So you cannot expect everything to go smoothly in your life. And when something bad happens, then your supervisor should be kind enough to consider and give you some personal space that, okay, just take some time out. So, on a personal level, try to know about that professor. When you are an undergrad student, that is easy to do that. And then uh, get to know more about their recent work, more about their publications. And when you find that connections, then you can talk to their existing students like, hey, your supervisor, how is he or she? Do you think that I should talk to your supervisor for potential opportunities? Like, you'll get some idea if you speak to the current students and set some certain principles. You will not find everything in your supervisor. Your supervisor as a whole will not be at the same time will not be kind, will not be that extra brilliant, will not have um, you know explicit connections with industry, which is very important. So, and that supervisor may not have funding. So these are the attributes, principles that we look for in a professor. That, okay, that person, I would like to apply to that person. Does he have funding? Does he have strong connections with the industry? Is he kind? Is he considerate? Trust me, you will not find everything in one person. That's not possible. So set some research, set some principles. What do you want? So if you are looking for an industry experience, then find some professor who has strong connections with industry. So in that way, after completing your undergrad program, your supervisor will be able to establish a link between you and that certain industry. So that is very important. So it's all on you. Then make contacts. Once you have decided that he or she is the right person for you, then approach. Since I'm talking about undergrad student, um, I will suggest you to do it on a personal level. Do not just throw emails and um, you know expect to get responses within a very short time, because it is much easier that you make a personal connection. Just go to his or her office during uh, office hours. Start with some small talks. you know some small talks like, how are you doing? Is everything all right? How is the weather treating you? Have you been well during this pandemic? um, just start with the small talks, and then express your interest in that person's research. That I know that you have been working on autism or child psychology or machine learning, you know, in CSC field. So, you know, I'm interested. I have studied some related coursework, and I'm so driven. And I have read your recent publications, articles. Those are amazing piece of work. So I would like to produce something like that, and manifest your positivity in front of that person. Because the more you will express your positivity, the more that person will be forced to listen to you. That person will realize that this student has some genuine motivation. Do not just you know uh, go to his office and start talking about his research. There is a way to do that, and be specific. Do not just say that you are working on machine learning. I am also interested in machine learning. That's it. No, it's not a good idea. Be specific. Refer to his or her recent articles. So in that way, that supervisor, potential supervisor, will know that you have done your homework. You have not just dropped in his office and, you know, asking for opportunities. So follow a certain, path. And then if that person is like, okay, sounds good, you are interested, um, why why don't you just send me an email with your resume? If you have a hard copy with your resume with you, then just give it to that person right away. Or you can just tell him that, okay, I will send you an email today. So in that way, make a contact with potential supervisor. And there are certain ways, certain sentences that already I have, discussed that, uh, like how to approach a potential supervisor. That I have been reading on dual personality disorder. That's that one sub area of a big area, right? And then I came across several articles that you have written. So I'm interested and was wondering if I can help you with your research projects. Before going to his or her office, try to know if that person has a project continuing, because do not waste time. Do not waste time on people who do not have any research project going on. Because why? Come on. If you find some people who have a research group, who have several projects going on, so the possibility of finding opportunities from that person will be higher. So select someone who has work for you. And if that person gives you positive feedback, then that's good. But if the response is negative, that I'm very sorry, right now I'm not hiring any research associate, research assistant, I'm very sorry. So then you lose nothing, because with that process you learn something. So then you can directly ask that person that, do you know someone who is looking for research assistance? Then that person will refer you to some other professors, or you can just proceed to contact the next person in your list. So either way, you keep gaining experience on how to find research opportunities, how to make contacts, and during that process, how to relate your own motivation onto a potential supervisor's existing work. So this is a process that is very important, that you should take up before meeting or contacting a potential supervisor. This is a slide that probably is the last slide of my presentation, that how to look for opportunities in the industry. Honestly, this is tricky, because finding opportunities for research assistantship in your university is easy, because every people is in front of you. But industry, finding opportunities from industry is tricky, because there are so many industries, um, whose information you will find online. You will find some websites, but they may hire you as well. But it may be misleading, because the websites may be attractive enough, but they do not have actual, work, or those companies are not established enough. I'm not discouraging you people not to join a startup company, but try to find the authenticity of the company. That is important. If I narrow down my examples into computer science and IT field, there are certain companies who will hire potential brilliant undergraduate students into their company for doing some, you know, um, work for them. And those things are not very clear. Like, if you are working even as a volunteer in a research project, try to make sure that Your name is on the contract. Don't just volunteer. Even if that company is not paying you, but try to make sure that your name is on the contract, because even if you have written certain like 3 or 4 modules or some specific sections of your code, that is your own contribution, and your name should be listed among the list of contributors. So try to find companies who have these kinds of ethics set up. One way to do that is go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great opportunity to find networking people, to develop networking in your field, because in LinkedIn there will be several advertisements for hiring undergrad students, right? And then before applying promptly, you will have to know about the company. How many employees are existing in that company? Is it a big company or mid-sized company or a very small company or what? And if that company is valid, is how should I say, like authentic, genuine, they will list their their work, the customer reviews, because in that way you will find how or what people think about that company. This is important that you read their reviews of the company. It doesn't matter if you are just an undergrad student. Don't consider yourself low. Even if you are just an undergrad student, your your skills matter. Do not invest your skills onto a non-authentic or non-genuine company. That's not the right way to start your research career. Okay, so try to find the authenticity and genuinity of the company, of the industry that you are trying to apply. All right, and then university websites are another way to find industry opportunities, because some supervisors are directly connected with industries. So if you are reading a particular faculty's profile, and if you find some company names, then you can talk to that professor or directly approach that person, because this is kind of a validation that that faculty is connected with that company, so it should be valid, it is authentic. So you don't need to double check or something. And then country specific websites. For example, you are trying to find some opportunities into a different country. Take an example of this pandemic. I heard that many people, many undergrad students are doing internship online, because now the research institutions or organizations, they are not asking overseas students to come and actually work in person. So they are kind of allowing overseas students to work from home, and that is a very good opportunity. So you can do that as well. For example, you are trying to target some Australian research organizations. So there are certain websites like seek.com, seek.com, seek.com. When I was in Australia, um, I was kind of on a break of 6 months from my PhD. During that period of time, I worked as a web developer. I just work as a web developer. So I worked certain opportunities. I I explored the seek.com website. I uploaded my resume, and then based on the similarities of the resume, the system itself will give you some suggestions that you can apply to that company, you can apply to that company, or there is a high chance that the recruiters themselves will contact you, will email you that, hey, we came across your resume and it is a good match to our company's goals and objectives. So why don't you try and apply to our company? We would like to invite you for a interview. Are you interested? So that is a very good thing. So you can also try to focus on certain countries and go for it. So these are the things that I was trying to um, discuss today. I don't know if I made sense or it was useful to you, but I tried my best to give you some preliminary ideas of how you can prepare yourself as a potential research student, because without preparing yourself it is not possible to start on a professional level. So this was my attempt, and I hope that I have able to motivate you on a very small level at least, and it was useful for all of you. And I wish you, every one of you, all the best for your individual careers. I hope that every one of you will be able to utilize your own potentials on whatever area you are in. So thank you very much again for inviting me as a speaker, and that's it. Thank you.
Sir,
If anyone has any question, feel free to ask by unmuting yourself. Any questions?
yeah, kindly give the tips on how to start reading the research papers and what things to focus in a research paper.
What things you need to focus in your research paper? That's what you're asking me?
Yeah, and how to search and how to start reading the research paper.
How to organize. That's what you're asking, right? You know,
Yeah, every
present your ideas. Yeah. Okay. From what I've understood, that you are trying to know how you can how to organize your thoughts, right, in a research paper. So, like I said, that research is all about mostly about data. You have a certain idea on a certain topic. You have certain data, and you have developed a method. You have certain results. So now you would like to incorporate everything in the research paper. So I think you know that every research paper has an abstract. That is a concise way of presenting your work. So that is the abstract, which is a summary of the work that you have done. Then the article starts with your the introduction of your work. So in the introduction section, you're introducing your research topic, and then you will talk about the problems that you have identified um, while conducting the research on that particular topic. And then you will talk about the existing literature who have tried who have tried solutions to similar problems. And after analyzing their work, you have decided that you would like to address certain things which they fail to address in their work. So that is your contribution. So you will say that in the introduction section, that after reading the literature, I have realized that they did not address this. What I am trying to do in my work, and I have prepared a model by addressing those things which others did not do. So that is your contribution. You are kind of claiming that this is the new thing that your article is offering. And after the introduction section, you can present your methodology, which will have a certain description of your data, of your several parts of your method. And also, if your method has some existing models, existing mathematical models or whatsoever, it depends on your subject. I'm not narrowing it down to information technology or computer science, but regardless of whatever research area you have a methodology, and your methodology, you will have to present the individual components of your method. And then to validate your method, you will have to present the experimental results, because regardless of whatever research area you are working on, there are certain results, because those are the outcomes from your research. Mostly a research article should have a should have some outcomes, because otherwise, you claim that you have addressed certain you know you have you have certain contributions. You have to validate your claim. So results are a very fantastic way to tell people that, hey, these are my results, so I am validating my method. And your discussion section or conclusion section, and in that section, you may express your intention to extend your current work into some other things in future. That is your future work. So it is always a good idea to express your future work in your article. So I hope I made it clear. Uh,
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to know anything? Even if I don't know the answers, we can just talk about it or discuss.
Sir, I think everyone has a clear idea about research, and I would love to thank you for giving us so much advices, and it is great to hear from you, and we came to know a lot of things about research and many other things as well. So thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure. My pleasure, and I hope that people present here have learned something at least from whatever I have said from my own personal experience. So thank you again for inviting me. Thank you so much. Rubayat, I think you can continue with your rest of the session, maybe.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So I would like to invite you all to apply for Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Program to get amazing benefits like Microsoft Azure, build great technical skills, get mentorship from Microsoft Cloud Advocates, work in collaboration with other students to learn and grow, and explore modules and learning path at Microsoft Learn that will help you to build great technical skills to become a researcher or developer. So thank you everyone for participating. So thank you all. We are closing our today's session.